Welcome to the EatingCast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Vincent, and today we're joined by a good friend, Ngan. Welcome.
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm doing well. I am sorry for not being well. It's been a long time
I know.
since I've been back to First Sip. And for those that don't know, our viewers and listeners, Ngan is co-owner with her sister of First Sip Cafe up in Uptown, Chicago.
Mm-hmm. They got bomb-ass ube latte. Oh my god. Every time I go there, that's literally all I order.
Black Noir is also really good.
Yes, that is a good one too. So yes, listeners, go there, order some drinks, chill.
Yes.
They got Wi-Fi. You can do your work there.
They got a lot of Wi-Fi. And just quick reminder, the table is not safe. It's kind of loose. So, okay. All right. So, what we got today for food? Oh, and before I even say anything about the food, Happy Lunar New Year to everyone that celebrates it. Happy Chinese New Year to the Chinese people, and Happy Lunar New Year to everyone else. That's the Vietnamese, the Cambodian, Korean, Japanese. Do the Japanese celebrate? Do they?
Who?
Japanese.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. And all of our Southern Asians that celebrate it as well. All right. So
what we got?
What we got today is some Thai food from Yes Thai. Kind of in the... What would that be called? It's like outside of Uptown, but not too far. It's like...
North or south?
It's kind of by Argyle.
Okay. Edgewater?
Is it Edgewater? Yeah, Edgewater. Isn't it Edgewater? Right by Roseville Cemetery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
like Ravenswood.
Is it Ravenswood? It's Ravenswood.
Not Thai pastry. I was thinking Thai pastry.
No, not Thai pastry. That's in Uptown.
Were they closed?
I don't know. I didn't check that far. But I don't know why all the other local ones that I normally go to were closed today.
It's weird. It's a Sunday.
I know. I'm like, why?
Most Asian people are open.
That's
Asian
what I
restaurants.
think.
Asian
That's
people,
what I thought.
Asian restaurants.
That's what I thought.
Is it the first day of the new year?
No, it was yesterday.
Second day.
Yeah.
But they should still be open, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
We also got some nice drinks here.
Yes, we do. First off, the food, though. We got some chicken satay right over here. There we go. With the lovely peanut sauce. It goes together with it. And then we got some crab rangoon. And I don't know why. They normally have papaya salad, but they didn't have any more. So I got cucumber salad. Hope that's okay.
I'm still for it.
You're still for it? Yes!
I won't hold it against you.
And then right over here we got pangang curry. That's chicken. Chicken pangang curry.
Alright.
And what do we got to drink today, guys? I know, Nan, you brought these lovely treats. Lovely sake.
Yes, we have 3 types of sake.
Yes.
One is dry Japanese sake. And that's all I know about it. It's
and then we
15
got this.
to 16%.
Oh, lovely.
And we got, I don't know how to pronounce this, Tozai?
Tozai.
Snow Maiden Japanese premium sake. Premium.
Ooh, premium.
It's like good stuff.
And then we have this one that really is, you wouldn't expect it, but it's in a little juice box called Lucky Dog Sake.
Don't give it to your kids.
It's not juice.
It's not that chrysanthemum juice box.
It's also premium Japanese sake.
It doesn't actually look like it.
Right?
Dude, this is...
It's so cute,
This is so, like, dangerous.
Yes.
Because, like, a kid can grab it. It's colorful. It's pretty.
Yeah.
A kid can grab that off the shelf and be like, oh, Dad, I want this one. And the dad, if they're not, like, too confident in what sake is.
Or if they're already buying booze, it won't be, like, a red flag. It'll be like, okay, fine, sure.
Oh, my God.
Right.
That's true. That's crazy.
But it's so cute.
And
it's such
cute.
a personal size.
It is very personal.
Yeah, and then we also got Citadel, which is some dry gin. Really, really smooth stuff, guys.
Guys, I'm turning red already.
Yeah.
Talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
You definitely are.
I'm as red as the bowl right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Asian glow's coming out.
Wow. Let's dig in.
Yes. Let's do it.
Go ahead and dig in. And so, I'm sorry to say this while we're eating, but Ngan, tell us a little bit about yourself. What inspired you to be the woman that you are today?
Complete accent and dumb decisions. And dumb decisions.
No.
I don't know. I think I take a lot of inspiration from my parents, as much as I don't want to admit it and don't give them the credit that they deserve. Just because they worked so hard and they came to a brand new country knowing absolutely nothing, with nothing in their pocket, and built everything for themselves and for their kids, and never once complain about the entire process. And I think that's really amazing, and I think that's something that I lack in terms of like motivation and in terms of drive. I don't think I could make the sacrifices that my parents make, you know. And then I think of in a bigger network, my friends who provide me more of like the emotional and the personal growth that kind of goes along with that, because I think a lot of people from like first generation like immigrant kids, I think, agree with like their parents kind of provide them with like the basics in terms of survival, and like we work hard so that you could like be clothed and fed, and then you could go to school, but then because they work so hard, then the emotional needs are neglected. And that's where like I think a lot of our friends come into play to kind of help us with that, and with like the personal growth.
Oh my God.
Sometimes they think that the emotional aspect of like humans should be jaded so that you can get things done. Yeah.
But that's so true though. It's like when you really think about it, or I think about it all the time, especially since my family is kind of like, I feel like we're in the same situation in terms of like your family, my family coming over from Asia with really nothing to their name, and then they created something for us to kind of like ride off on. But because they're so driven and focused on just trying to support us, as we were growing up, they really were not there, like emotionally or mentally, to really give care to us. And that really sucks. And I feel like that's a big reason why actually, like, our circles are so big.
Yeah.
Just because, like, we needed that reassurance from our friends to, like, really give us that care, that compassion, right? That kind of understanding. And that's kind of where it came from. It's the craziest thing to really think about the importance of friends and friendship in our eyes, because like we use that as kind of like a emotional base or a pillar in our lives to really help drive us forward where our parents could not, which is crazy. Because all I got from at home was like, oh, you didn't do good, slap. You got bad grades, slap. You did this, slap.
Oh, my hand's sore now. I'm gonna go grab a broom.
Oh my God.
No, that happened.
Yeah.
Not a broom, but I got a lot of those metal wire coat hangers.
Yeah.
I got a lot of those.
Or when they get tired of it, then they do their emotional gut. Like,
oh yeah,
our parents like
the guilt trip.
The guilt trip, like
the guilt. Oh my
it's like
God.
we work 12-hour plus days,
and you do this
7
to
days
us.
a week, and you do this to us. All we ask is for you to care about us, to respect our name and our family, and not act out. And you're kind of like sitting there. You're like, you're right.
Yeah.
But then you're also like a dumb kid, so you're just gonna continue making dumb decisions.
You know what hurts is like when your parents call you stupid or like,
oh my God,
like useless in the native language. It hurts more because it means it's deeper. It's like, yeah, they called you stupid, but it's like brain dead stupid if like you translate it completely.
No, it honestly cuts. It's like you have cuts in your skin, right, from like paper cuts, and then you just dunk that arm right into like a tub of alcohol. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
that's what I compare it to.
Well, I think because our language is so, like both Chinese and Vietnamese, is so formal that we understand that when our parents use a certain word to, like, if we did the direct like translation, it won't sound so bad in English, but to like for a child to hear from their parents, in like Chinese or Vietnamese, it just sounds so much worse.
It's so bad.
And you know that they mean it, and and you know that like deep down that their intentions are good, whether or not you agree with it.
Yeah.
But it's just more of the fact that like
this is fucked.
You know the fact that they do work really hard.
Yeah.
To make your life good, and now you're kind of like doing stuff behind their back, or you're drinking as a kid, and you're like, well, this is what all the other kids are doing.
Right, exactly. Oh my god.
Cheers to
Cheers to getting beat.
Cheers to getting beat by our parents.
Woo! I've never been beat. My older siblings did, and I think by the time my parents, aka my dad, got to like me, I think he was just over and tired of just like, okay, like 5 kids, like, god damn it.
We'll drink to that though.
We drink to that.
That is
I like
smooth.
that one.
Yeah,
That one's good. That one's good. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
This is also kind of good. Kind of good. Big word.
So
That one's good in the shower.
So now I'm curious.
In the shower.
Because it's so light.
That is true. Oh my god.
Are you telling me something, Shannon?
That
You drank this in the shower?
Have you not seen the commercials for shower beers?
Yeah, I've seen
Wait, there's
that.
shower beers?
Well, it's just more of like when people bring a beer into the shower to just kind of like have a good time. Like when they like.
I have not.
Literally,
Oh, you're missing out, dude.
Yeah, like literally, I was working with Connor, and he was like, "Yeah, yesterday I just had a shower beer," and I'm like, "The fuck is a shower beer?" And he's like, "Oh, I just brought a beer and well,
Was that what inspired you to like have that gin and tonic in that freaking bathtub?
Oh,
yesterday?
last night, yeah, I was in the back. Dude, okay, I had a
Oh my
long
God.
day. My Saturdays are so long. And so, I was going home and I was like, I need to unwind. You know, those like girls who do it with red wine. They like sit there. That was me. That was me with my gin and tonic.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
I had to. Sometimes,
It's all good.
sometimes you need a good drink. Yeah.
That's not happened to me yet.
So tell us a little bit about your coffee shop, your cafe.
Yeah. So we're coffee shop on Argyle Street, just a block or two east of the Red Line station.
Just 1 block.
1.5, thank you.
It's just one. Because it's already like in the middle of the block anyways.
True,
So
and
just
it's
one
small.
block. Yeah.
It's small. So yeah, and we opened it 2 years ago on a very dumb decision because we're not knowledgeable in the industry or space, nor do we have the finances. Don't do it, kids.
Don't do it, kids.
Don't do drugs. Don't open a business.
Well, you have no savings. FYI, just finance 101. But 2 years later, we're still here. So
Oh, really good napkin.
thank you. So 2 years later, we're still here, and we do a lot of just your basic lattes and teas, and then we also try more interesting flavors. Like we have like an ube flavor, which is a sweet purple yam.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good.
It's really good. And then we also have interesting teas that we have like tea lemonades with jalapeno slices and tamarind, and that one's really good too. So we try to play with our different flavors, and then we also take inspiration from our customers a lot too. So it's kind of what goes into the menu is either based off of something that we personally really like, or it's something that's been suggested by a customer, and we're like, yes, that sounds amazing. Let's do that.
Do you guys have the charcoal drink on the menu, or is that just...
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
And it's its own section. It's our Nor Sips, which is black tea and charcoal powder as a latte. So there's milk in it. And then we have the different flavors that we have. So we have the ube one, which is really good. And then we have the Pearl Nor, which is coconut and jasmine flavor. And it's just the best thing ever.
It's so good.
You know how in every like tribal village there's that like shaman or like a like a witch doctor. Literally.
Are you comparing Ngan to a witch doctor right now?
Yeah, like Ngan and Gigi. So like, I was very hungover one weekend. So I came over to the shop, and they're like, you know what you need? You need this charcoal powder drink. It's a great hangover cure. I drank it, and I was like, oh shit, that worked pretty fast. Like, I felt pretty good to like continue doing my thing, which was drink with my friends later.
No,
Like there were times where So I would have like back at my prior job, I would have like double shifts every now and then.
I remember that.
And I would.
And you had the worst hours too.
Yeah, I had the worst hours.
Still do.
Really, really bad. It still do. No, it's way better now. But no, yeah, I would have like really bad hours, and I would also help out the restaurant, and then I would stop by the cafe.
Yes.
Right before I go back, and I don't know why or I don't know how, but I would always get pressured into taking shots. And for those who don't know, the first sip is yes, it's a very friendly and very alcohol focused place.
Okay, we're not.
But it's awesome. It's a really friendly.
It's very welcoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of it, it's not even intentional. We don't even drink that much as opposed to like how we come across. But a lot of it is because one, I kind of just like the reactions of people when you ask them to do a shot, because they're just like very caught off guard of it, especially from a coffee shop. And us, a lot of times it's earlier in the day, so it's like not a time where you typically are expected to drink. But the way I see it is just like time is all relative. Like, so it's just like it just depends on like the total average of a day. Okay, like
the total average of the day. I've already been up for 12 hours. Time for a shot.
That's the way I see it. It's just
no,
like,
I agree though. I agree. Cause
not only are they shocked that we're drinking, but you would pull out the gigantic Grey Goose, and you know that's just scary.
Yeah, I mean, I would literally buy bottles at like when I left the restaurant after helping out for like a few hours. I would just go over to the liquor store next door. Yeah, Foremost, and I would just buy like a bottle of gin. And it would be like a big ass bottle, and I would just walk in there nonchalantly and just put it on the countertop.
Some Sapphire.
Yeah. Oh, so great.
It was wild. And then it's like, shots? I was like, I mean, I brought the bottle, so I guess I have to. And then I would go to work right after. And I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, as a disclaimer for our business, we only give shots to people who have consent and are 21 and up.
We don't force anyone.
We don't force anyone, and we're very respectful of people who do not drink, or whether it's like a personal thing or it's just like that one day. We are very respectful of that, and we don't peer pressure anyone. But if you look like you want a drink, then I might push back a little, and that's just okay. But yeah,
you never just push back a little for me. You just like you give me no choice.
Okay, but I've known you so well. I've known you for like. I was thinking about it, and I know you for, I want to say 15 years. More than that.
Wait, were you younger than him in high school?
I'm a year younger than Chris, and then I've known Chris since at least sophomore year of high school. And that was 2000.
That was
8?
2000, yeah, 8.
Damn.
So okay, 11 years.
Is it 11? No.
12, yeah.
It's 2020 now.
Yes.
Yeah, 12, 13 years. Holy crap! I feel old. Oh man.
You are old. I
mean, yeah, I am. I'm pretty old, but that's crazy. So actually, like, I've been actually like kind of wondering this since, like, when you were struggling with your contract and you were asking me if I knew a contract and everything like that. What inspired you to like say, screw it and open up a cafe with your sister? Because I know you went to DePaul. Was it for business?
Yeah, I went there for business for undergrad.
Yeah. And
then at the time frame where right before opening the shop, I was also at DePaul for grad school. So then what happened was that space was planning to. There was someone who was planning to open a Vietnamese vegan shop in that space right before we were. And then they were struggling with the recipes, and because, vegan Vietnamese food is
really hard.
It's hard because we use fish sauce and everything, and it's so good, and it's kind of hard not to go back to that.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. So then I was just kind of like, hey, I noticed this area is changing. You have a different demographic. And this area is so close to the train station and so close to the lake. Why is there not a coffee shop here already? there should be a coffee shop here, and that was kind of my suggestion, not even to like open a coffee shop myself, but for the other person, like, hey, instead of opening a vegan restaurant, open a coffee shop. And they're like, well, I don't know, and the space ended up being open, and then me and my sister Gigi, who's my partner, we both have always independently thought about running a coffee shop as we're older, when we're like probably like in our 40s, you know, kind of like, you know, like as like a kind of
side hustle.
Like a side hustle. We're only there a couple of days in a week, you know. And we've always thought about that. We've always been fascinated with the idea or the concept of a coffee shop. And then we kind of looked at each other and was like, I'll do it if you do it. Because I think we both weren't confident enough in ourselves and the business idea for the coffee shop at the time to really do it ourselves. And then, and because we didn't have any savings or any money, that also meant that we didn't have any kind of fundings. And we were also way too self-conscious and not confident in ourselves, and the idea of like, because everyone we talked to like almost had like a negative reaction, even if they try to hide it. You could tell like it was an immediate excitement. So you know, we couldn't even go around asking people for investments because we were too scared of like, what happens if in 2 years we're out of business, we can't repay them. And like, yes, there is a risk when you enter any kind of business investment, and you know, buyer beware. But we couldn't go on it with like good conscience, and like there were people that like offered to like, you know, like loan us money or whatever, and we just couldn't do it. So then we end up maxing out our credit cards. Because in our mind, we would rather owe money to credit card companies than someone we actually knew, and someone we actually knew that like spend a lot of time to like save up that money. It's not like it doesn't come from nowhere. So it's just, so that was crazy for us. And I think a lot of it is because we were ignorant, and a little bit of ignorant is bliss, and we didn't realize how hard it was going to be, and you know, how many coffee cups you have to sell to make a profit in a day, you know. So there's also those things.
How would you, if you don't mind me asking, how do you think it's going now?
I think it's going really well. We've been growing steadily for the past 2 years, and we've been very adaptive in terms of what we do and our customer base. Like one time we had a customer who was just like approached me and was like, hey, can I pay you money to cut off a piece of your plant so that I could propagate it for later and then plant it myself? And I was just like, I mean, sure, you could do it for free. I don't really care too much. So then we created a whole event around it of like, hey, like, you know, like come here, and we have plants that we were just gonna give out anyways.
That's what I saw, because you post that a lot. Yeah,
so then also recently, us, like me and Gigi and a customer was talking, and we're talking about, you know, like wanting to donate our clothes or furniture and then all that stuff. So now we're thinking about like doing a swap meet and then having everyone to do like kind of like a spring cleaning and just giving each other clothes before we go to donation. And because that's something that we're all doing already, so why not kind of bring everyone together?
The community.
Yeah, and like meet other people who's already doing the same thing, who's already interested in the same stuff that you are. So yeah, so we're very excited.
So being a business owner in that community, what is your perspective on the community? Because like on the outside, right? So I don't have a business, obviously, but like when I look inside, you know, it seems everyone's close knit and everyone looks out for each other. How would you? So describe your perspective as a business owner.
I think it's really interesting because I think what's interesting about our house is like we have two communities. We have kind of like the actual Asian immigrants who's there, who only speaks, who recently came or still only speaks
their mother tongue,
their language, their native tongue, whether it's Chinese or Vietnamese, predominantly in Arga. And then we also have, so there's that population, and then we also have the population that is a lot of college students and young working professionals who are there because of like, you know, just being so close to the train station, the lake, and you know, like the more affordable rent prices and all that stuff. So for us, we our demographic tends to be more of the college students and are the young professionals. I think our coffee shop is a little bit foreign in terms of a concept and idea for the immigrants here, and especially because for the longest time we didn't carry Vietnamese coffee and all that stuff. So it's a different environment. The menu's in English, and I think that still kind of like makes them more hesitant or self-conscious about attending or coming into our space. So I think those are the two different ones, and I kind of look at them differently. For us, when we think about the college students and the young professionals, those are like our customer base and those are our core demographics. But then when I think of the immigrants, I think of more of my parents. So not so much as my demographics, but more of the rest of the community members in that space that doesn't have a strong voice. Because a lot of these meetings, these community meetings, whether it's about, like the CTA, reconstruction, or, just about new businesses or that's happening, it's all in English. And, people like my parents are not going to be there because, one, they can't understand it. And two, they don't feel like their input is actually of value.
We've actually had a talk about this.
Yeah.
A few months back, actually. Because, we were talking about how the community itself were, not really representative, because we're talking about these, is that, the council meetings or the, for the Chamber of Commerce and everything like that. It's, the community that actually works and actually has businesses there, they don't really show up for these meetings.
Yeah.
Which is really shocking, right? Because they're the main driving factor of that neighborhood, right? Their input does matter.
Yeah.
But then when you feel like your voice doesn't matter, it's just really sad that people feel that way. And because of that, we're getting a lot of other investors and real estate brokers that are coming into the neighborhood that are establishing their own dominance and their own buildings, right? For instance, the one commercial building or the office building that was across the street from Sun Wah for the longest time in Broadway, it was empty and was just bought out by a large real estate developer.
Oh yeah.
And now it's turning into the flats, and it's really changing the demographic of the neighborhood, which is scary, because as a kid, you, me, and probably you too, Vince, but I remember just growing up and just our parents going out to the restaurant or your cafe, your parents' cafe. It's as long as you're in Argyle, your parent everyone in that neighborhood knew who you were, and they knew whose kids you were.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if you went out and just played at another shop with the other kids. They knew which restaurant you belonged to or which business you belonged to, and it was really easy to get you back to your parents. And nowadays, it's as a kid, that doesn't happen as much anymore, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Damn. I miss those days.
Dude, that just made me sad.
No, yeah, because literally, you'll run over to the let's just say Viet Wah, right, the grocery store right there, and then you'd be playing with their kids, the owner's kids, and then it's just messing around the neighborhood, and then you come back, hang out, have some water, maybe a snack, and then just continue on your day, and that was just how it was.
Or even the youth groups there, everyone hangs out, CMA,
VAI, Southeast Asia Center, and even just the other local community ones too.
It's funny because I've been to all three. That's crazy. As a student.
It's not that crazy.
I actually grew up without any of those. I went to probably one event for each one of those until my parents
You're nope.
I hated it so much I stopped. And then so they never forced me to go again. Which I think I regret, because I think I would have been connected to a lot more of kids from the community. But I was just so isolated. I just didn't know how much. And I think our community was always strong. But the thing is, my parents never forced me in those organizations, and I always said no myself. So then I never realized how strong of a community we could have been.
I definitely agree, and I also do feel though these organizations are still around, I don't feel the community is as strong as it used to be nowadays, right? Because like there's still kids going there. There's still like immigrants going to these organizations and just kind of trying to learn how to work within our society, right? The American society, and that's awesome, right? But if you really think about it, right, like back in the day, you would have like 30, maybe 40 kids in each organization, or maybe even more.
Even more, yeah.
You know, of all varying ranges, and then of the mentors or like the kids that were from high school that came over to teach, they were also from the neighborhood, and it's like
everyone was literally one giant family.
Yeah, dude, it's freaking crazy. Like looking back at it.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Because actually, me and Gigi have been thinking about this a lot. So we want you guys' input in terms of like, do you think this is like a trend that Asian people do? Is that
we're gonna get everyone's input now.
Yes. So what happens is that like any kind of like Asian immigrants who comes to the U.S. with like the pursuit of the American dream, and everyone is, pretty much is like thinking of Ariana as an example is like they come to Chicago and the U.S. for the first time, so they live in a neighborhood like Ariana, which is predominantly immigrant focused. So if you go to another restaurant, they're more likely to speak your language than they are English. And same thing with the grocery store. So it's very familiar. It's easy to ask around. And there's also like nonprofit organizations that can help you with like legal paperwork and all that stuff. So for us immigrants, when we come, that's like our first area of destination of where we choose to live. And then the thing is that once we have jobs and once we start working, and the thing is, like our parents bust their ass off, and they are just so amazing because they could work 12, 14 hours days, 6, 7 days a week with no complaint, and like and they almost make it so easy. Like you could tell that like yes, they are tired, but they aren't like sad or depressed. They're just it's so weird. Yes, they're
content with their life because I feel like their mission is being fulfilled.
Yeah.
Right. Their passions are being fulfilled.
But they're being fulfilled in like working 6, 7 days a week for very long hours, and then afterwards, once they save enough money, then they buy a house or a condo, preferably in like the northern or western areas of Chicago or in the suburbs. And I think a lot of people, especially Americans, forget that like Asian immigrants, like everyone else, came to the U.S. in pursuit of the American dream, and part of that American dream is buying a home in the suburb and living in that suburban lifestyle with kids and a dog and all that stuff.
White picket fence.
Yes, white picket fences, and people forget about that, and people think that part of it is to attribute to the rent costs, but they also forget that like it's also in pursuit of the American dream. And then, so like our parents would buy houses in, like the more residential parts of Chicago or in the suburbs. And then, so we're living there, and then people think of like why we're leaving the area, but we're leaving the area in pursuit of the American dream.
Yeah.
Are you guys being questioned by the people in that community?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
So we're being questioned, or people are not. I think people have a misunderstanding of why Asian Americans, in particular, our parents' generation, like the first ones who came here as adults and worked their ass off as adults, and raised their kids, of why they're leaving the city, and people are, I think, forgetting the obvious of like they're still pursuing the American dream.
Yeah. So like I guess to answer that question, right? It's like they are leaving the area, but let's say you're one of those business owners, right, that started your business there. Regardless of where you move, you always come back because you have ties there, right? Your business created friendships. It's created bonds with like your neighbors and your other business owners in the neighborhood. Because you really think about it, even though these people, these individuals, they don't go to like, you know, the city council meetings or the chamber of commerce meetings to really make a voice for themselves. As a community, they still communicate their thoughts and their opinions with each other, which is what drove and which is what still drives like Argyle today. Yeah. Right. It's these little business owners that they still intermingle, they still talk to each other, and they still kind of like want to figure things out, right? They still want to work together and move forward, and hopefully everyone be happy at the end of the day. But for me, it's like just because someone in an area moves out doesn't necessarily mean that they're no longer in the neighborhood. Yeah, so there's always a tie back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, especially, like, you know, like, when we get older, we get drawn back into the community because we have a sense of, like, this is home, or, like,
that's
you know,
what
like,
we feel now.
Of familiarity, of, like, I think if you asked me, like, you know, 4 years ago, would I be on Argyle? I'd be like, probably not. No. Absolutely not. But now that I've a little bit older and have a little bit more respect for my culture and what my parents have done and the hard work that they've put in, it drives you back to that area and time frame, and it also makes you think about like the other people who's also going through the same process as you did, you know, like 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you also think about, you know, like your nieces and nephews who, you know, like also went through the same things that you have gone through, of like, you know, like parents working so hard, and you're just like, okay, how can I look out for them, you know?
That's true.
Shots?
Let's cheers to hardworking
and community-based.
Yes.
Our parents that we don't always fully acknowledge.
I acknowledge them. It's just we don't necessarily communicate on the same level.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So my grandparents and my parents used to own a buffet, and the reason why they moved out of that area was because, you know, there is a lot of bullshit that goes on in those kinds of businesses. A lot of bullshit.
I mean, there's always shade no matter what, no matter where you go. There's gotta be shade.
Right, and they move out because they just want to be away from it, you know, like the chaos. They just want to take a breather and, you know, just take care of it the next morning.
Yeah.
Right? So would you agree or disagree?
On like the whole moving out of that area and starting a business elsewhere, or
not starting a business elsewhere, just like, you know, living elsewhere, but your business still stays, obviously.
Yeah.
But just like taking a step away from bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you don't fucking shit where you eat, right? So it's like
unless you're in a rush,
you know, you just gotta pull up a toilet or one of those like little porta potties.
Pull up a toilet. Nice.
Yeah, dude, those did you ever use those as a kid?
No, what the fuck?
No,
the training ones?
Yeah, those training ones.
Oh, dead.
I'm not bringing it in a whole like freaking toilet.
Just keep it. Yeah.
All right, on to another topic because this is gonna make me.
It's a good segue. So, with your business, have you dealt with any shady shit?
I'm gonna buy you out. Ooh, sorry.
No, we haven't done with anyone trying to buy us out, unfortunately. I think that would be like, for me, it's just like an indicator. It would just be a go indicator of like, okay, we're on the right track if someone's trying to buy us out. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that we would, but it's just like more of like, okay, someone believes in so much that they're willing to pay top dollar for it. But I think there's a lot of negativity that comes with opening your own business, and I think
those are some hefty shots there.
You're welcome. I think Americans and Asian Americans look at owning your own business very differently. I think Asian Americans tend to kind of look down on it a little bit, in the sense of like, because opening your own business, especially when it's like a coffee shop, a bar, or a restaurant, like, you know, like the hospitality field is like, you don't need a degree. So for them, it's just like, that's easy. Anyone with money can do that, right? Like, so for Asian Americans, I don't think they see the hard work and like the effort that goes into that, especially if you don't have money.
Yeah.
And I think Americans tend to appreciate the risk that is associated with that a little bit more, where I think in particular Vietnamese people, I think a lot of them were doubtful of us when we had the idea and then when we had first opened up. Because if you think about it, if you're paying rent every single day, realistically, just think about the math. How many cups do you sell in a day to pay off your rent and utilities? And so you're just basic requirements. And then also to make a profit on top of it. If you do the math, it adds a lot. And like it's a lot. It's a little bit scary. So there's like a risk of like, is that even worthwhile? And I think Asian Americans are a little bit more practical, and we don't always pursue our dreams just because they're dreams. I think we also pursue it if there's also some kind of like basic logic of like, okay, is this sustainable or not?
Right.
And I think
is it profitable? Is it safe? Is it good for you and the community or whatever? Right.
And I think me and my sister were a little bit dumb and oblivious to
I feel like you were just ambitious. I wouldn't say
you took a leap. You took a leap. I mean, most people walk, but remember Mergen was on. He was like, you gotta take a leap sometimes. You gotta make that jump.
And then surprisingly, my parents are actually the reason for it, even though they're actually against the idea of us opening a coffee shop. Because once, they don't think we should open a business because that's a lot of work. And then they know that a coffee shop, like a cup of coffee is like what, $5?
$5.
So then how many coffees do you have to sell in a day? So they know the math behind it, and they're a little bit more realistic about that. But I think I take inspiration from them because they came to the U.S. not knowing the culture, not knowing the language, with like maybe like $50 in their pocket, with 5 kids that they have to raise, and they're all under 18. And then they all came here in their late 30s, early 40s, and they survived, and they raised their kids, and we're fine, and we're thriving. So then I kind of take it as inspiration of like, if my parents could do it with no knowledge of the culture or language and still survive and thrive, then there's no reason for me to not be able to do it.
Yeah. So I've always been a little torn about this, but it's like, as much as we respect our parents for their grind and hustle, it's like, at what point do you draw it? Because sometimes, or a lot of times, Asian parents will guilt trip you. You know, like you said, like
no, they always guilt trip.
Right, we were.
Not sometimes, they always.
Yeah, so it's like
every conversation.
In a sense, that's like toxic. You know, like
it's toxic. So my thoughts on this, right, especially dealing with my own family situation, is like, I take their guilt trips nowadays with like a grain of salt because I understand that the reason they guilt trip me and the reason why they do the shit they do is because they came here from either a war-torn country, either from just starvation, a famine, right, in a different country, and where they witness, you know, their friends, family, right, relatives just dying from hunger or starvation, or even being pulled into like guerrilla military forces, right, or stuff like that, and then dying. And it's just like they don't know any better in reality of the things, right? Because they lived their entire life trying to survive, and that's all they know. If you really think about it, basic necessities of life, and like that we see now, that's like a luxury, right? Like heating, cooling, a washing machine, it's like these are all luxuries that they still to this day can probably live without, and it's like they wouldn't bat an eye at it. Mm-hmm. And because of that, right, they have this mentality on life. It's like they don't guilt trip you because they want to, they guilt trip you because that's the only thing they know, right? Because like they threw away their experiences or their chance of experiencing life for themselves to potentially have it live off through you.
Yeah.
You know,
because I would travel sometimes, you know, like I would go on these vacation trips, and my mom would be like, I don't, like, even I can't even travel, and you can, and like I'm like, yeah, but it's like, sorry, like, you know, I know.
Well, that's the thing though. That's why
it hurts, because it's like, fuck, even my parents aren't traveling, but I have the luxury and privilege to travel.
Yeah. That's where, like, you know, that's why I kind of feel for them, and it's like I just take their guilt trips for what it is, and understand that regardless if you do whatever you do, even if it's against what they want, it's like you just do it because it's
For you.
is for you. And regardless of their opinions, they're still gonna see it through, and they're still gonna like care for you no matter what.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm sure they'll be happy that you're fulfilling your life and you're happy and you're doing your thing, and in a sense, you're successful in your own way. And I'm sure they'll get that.
Exactly. Or they just want freaking grandkids, and then that's it.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Shots.
Shots to
I'm not ready for this. I feel the Asian glow. I'm just like.
Are you serious?
You can't feel the Asian glow. I physically have Asian glow. All right, and shots.
Shots to hardworking parents, right?
Hardworking parents.
Ooh, I forgot how about that is.
What's gin?
But without a chaser.
Yeah. Throwback to when we were drinking at your parties, man. At first sip.
I mean, wait. How do we make it last time? Or when we were at first sip, we used to mix it with like lavender, right?
Yeah. You used to mix it with syrup.
I was hoping you would bring some for the syrup.
She wasn't there today, man.
I brought sake. I figured that would be festive enough.
That's true.
That's true. Yes, very
festive. For the New Year's, you know.
Okay, so are you guys coming to the Argyle Lunar New Year's Parade?
Argyle Lunar New Year Parade
What day
is starting on September. No, not September.
What the hell?
I am drunk, guys!
I almost agree with you there.
Yeah. Saturday. I meant to say Saturday, not September.
Saturday, February 1st.
Yes.
Festivities start at 12 noon. Parade starts at 1 sharp. Yeah. And then when I say 1 sharp...
It's Asian time, so probably like closer to 1:30.
No. This one is serious.
Oh, it's serious this time. Okay.
Yes, you have to be there at 1 because the parade is very short. It's a spa community parade.
Oh, it's short now?
Yes, it's a small community parade, and it's very cute. But it just starts at 1 sharp, and if you're late, you'll probably miss a parade. So get there at like 12:30 or 12:45.
All right.
Damn, I won't be there. I'm working till 4.
I'm gonna jet out early. Yeah. Because I actually have a new hire working. Oh, nice. So it's like I need to jet early. You mind holding down the fort for the next 2
But aren't you guys doing? Isn't Honky doing fireworks at 9 a.m.?
Are we doing it at 9 a.m.?
I think yes. I think that's what your flyers have been saying. 9 a.m.
Like the traditional firecrackers? The thing that go...
Yeah, the Chinese ones, dude.
I'm so excited for it. It's going to be great.
I don't think I've actually seen one ever in my life.
What?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Dude, Argyle as a kid.
To Argyle in Chinatown?
Well, I was young. I was really young. I don't remember it.
Dude, I would be that kid that would run up and down the street collecting the uncracked firecrackers and lighting them in my hand and throwing it. Like a dumbass. Don't do that, by the way, kids. Don't light firecrackers in your hand and then throw it.
That just goes back to also the first episode of this season with Charlie Glitch. Don't throw M80s at people.
Exactly. Don't throw M80s at people.
I stand by those statements.
So how long? How long is the parade? Till 2?
I mean,
it's probably like
they're going to all the
15 minutes.
Oh, what? That's so short.
No, because like it's just going down the block.
Yeah. And they're going to each restaurant, right?
Well,
the lion thing.
The lion dances, the restaurants have to pay for.
Yeah.
They have to tip.
They have to pay for a lion to come in their place.
Yes, you have to tip them.
That's what the lysiphone is, dude. Don't you ever see the shop owners hand off that big ass piece of cabbage?
No.
Yeah, or like the big red envelope. It's for the lion dancers. It's to tip them because they're mostly kids who's learning like kung fu or karate or whatever, and so it's kind of like to tip them on like festivities of like.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know about a cabbage.
Is a cabbage a?
Yeah, like the lion, they'll eat the cabbage or
like a real
lettuce.
Cabbage.
No, lettuce, not cabbage. Fuck.
We haven't done that.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they would throw it, or they would open their mouth and they would eat the cabbage or lettuce, whatever, and then inside they'll rip it apart and then they'll spit it back out.
Yeah. And then there's like
and there's supposed to be the red envelopes inside of it
with money to tip like all the kids and whoever participate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I think they all pool it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
But it's really sad though, like, because now that you mention it, it's only 15 minutes. It's like, it reminds me of the good old days when it would literally be like an hour, 2 hours, just for the 4 blocks that makes up Argyle,
Yeah.
it would take a long ass time.
Do they used to block off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'll
Broadway-
still block off now, but the parade, like, because we only have, like, 10 floats or less, it goes by so quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're late, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
And then all the firecrackers happens before the parade. So you have to get there earlier, too.
Do they still pass out, like, lycée to everyone else?
No, not as much.
Oh.
That's only if you know the people.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, and like, you know,
I always got
family. Yeah, it's like the run of the family. It's like I would always be going around, and all the store owners would be like, "Oh, hey, or like, so they would be like, you know,
here's the
hey,
cash
scary
register.
son, come over here.
Yeah.
I got some red envelopes for you." And then, you know, you say the traditional "恭喜发财来西到来."
Yes.
So, and then that's like just saying thank you, uncle.
I always
Everyone's
feel
an
so weird about it because I feel like I'm straight up begging, and you kind of are as a kid.
Well, I mean, like,
But, like, I would just feel so awkward.
yeah, it's really weird to receive envelopes from just people that you don't really know. I mean, you know them because your family knows them, but you don't personally know them. It's a little weird, yeah.
And then, like, the thing is, the trick is that if you give the money for your mom to, like, watch it, you're never gonna get it back.
Yeah, no, they keep it for themselves. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
No. You know what they say? You know what I heard? Like, they say, "Oh yeah, you know this all this money is gonna go to it's gonna for your future." Right?
My
and then
ass.
they don't tell you that. Oh yeah, this shit is all going to your freaking college fund.
You know,
And you're like, "Oh, that's where my money went."
No, not even that. My parents were like, I would give my money to my mom to watch because I wouldn't trust myself. And, like, I remember one year I asked her about it later, and she's like, "Where do you think I got all this jewelry for you?"
Oh my god.
So it's just more of like, where do you think I spent the money on you?
I pampered the hell out of you. That's like your mom saying. But no, yeah, I remember like I would. So here's the thing. It's a little weird. My dad. I would have like a piggy bank. Those old like those old Asian ones.
Do they
Those
also
freaking
use
giant
those?
ones, right?
the golden one?
I don't know. No, I had like a freaking blue one and a white one. But like.
Oh,
so,
the ceramic one.
Yeah, the ceramic ones. So my
Yes.
dad would literally make me put everything in there. And I said, okay, I put all the money in here. And he was like, yeah, it's going to go somewhere safe. It's going to go somewhere good. We moved houses. I never saw that pig again. I got a new pig.
They probably use it to pay for the U-Haul.
No, they probably used it to pay for the down payment on their house. Dude.
Rip.
And then the other one, we were living in the house already for like maybe 2-3 years. And so I've collected X amount of dollars, I don't know how much money, into that freaking, into that piggy. And then, yeah, I think like 2-3 years after that, our house got broken into. And they literally stole the pig. I was like, what the fuck?
You'll never see those pigs ever
No, I
again.
never saw that pig ever again, dude. And then I got a new one.
Was it the year of the pig?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what year it was. It was like, I was still a freaking kid.
Oh my gosh, not so many. Jesus,
many
bumping
knock-
everywhere.
Yeah.
Knock knocks.
You drunk.
I'm trying to arrange my alcohol content.
Oh, I see you gave me the most. Okay. But no, yeah, it's freaking crazy.
Cheers.
All right, cheers to
Cheers to the stolen pigs.
Cheers to stolen pigs and stolen money from our childhood.
Oh, yes.
My brother would borrow money from me after New
Went down the
Year's.
air pipe. Oh. I drank that one too fast. It went down the air pipe. Oh my god.
Are you guys, is First Sip throwing any new parties coming up?
Probably not.
You know you're
anytime
using
soon.
your chopsticks backwards.
I know.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to contaminate it.
I actually don't care, but I just get worried about other people caring, so then I do it out of courtesy.
We're Asian.
Nah. Do you not understand the Asian way of communal food eating?
I know, but some people just get so like,
Germophobic.
yeah.
Especially Americans.
For those that don't know, Chinese people or Asian people in general, when we sit down and eat, we always do family style. And everyone's saliva is going on every single piece, no matter what.
So, never mind.
So technically, we've all kissed each other.
I was gonna say that, but okay, you could say that for me.
Got real weird.
You chose a better word. I was gonna be like, yeah, we all made out French kiss.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's just you two.
Yeah.
I mean, we are kind of weird by heart, by nature.
Is your fiance okay with this?
Yeah, she's used to it.
I mean, I personally feel like I'm the more mature one in this
triangle.
relationship. Yeah, this weird triangle. I mean, like there's like a funny thing going around. It's like how she's technically marrying both of us.
Oh yeah.
We're like a package deal.
She's like, fuck.
Oh boy.
She's so funny.
Hey, I mean, you know, if that is true, you know, she's got two husbands to take care of.
That's what I was saying. I was like, you know, when I'm on vacation, just go
But
ahead.
does she have double the alimony? Like, shit. Like,
Oh, hell
does her
no,
benefits come in doubles?
No, only one. Mine are just myself.
I know, but are you still treating her to vacations and, like...
Anything that costs money, I ask him. No, I'm just kidding. He's the bank account.
I'm not the bank account. We got no money, man. We're broke as shit.
Weird.
Yeah, I should really do an episode of, like, dating, like, Asian style versus American style, because there's, like, so many differences.
No, there's a lot of differences.
Like, between, like hardcore Asians and, like, Asian Americans, and then, like...
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
And then also just, like, Asians that's, like, whatever, but, like, the...
Do you guys know why international students wear their shoes with their heels tucked in? Have you seen that?
Slippers.
It's just lazy.
But, like, why?
I'm assuming it's lazy. Yeah, slippers. I want to wear slippers. I'm too lazy to put it back up, and...
So you do that, too?
No.
Oh, you know. Okay.
I do when I'm walking towards the Uber. Like, if I'm running out the door and I'm walking towards the car.
Squish that heel down. I'm like, all right, it's a slipper right now.
It will become a slipper, but, like, in the car, I would readjust myself. I would not continue all day with that.
Yeah, no, you're right, though. I've seen a lot of, like, especially, like, you know, fresh off the boat, like, Asians, like, they'll always wear their sneakers like that. Rain or shine.
It's fucking, it triggers me. I was at the airport last weekend, and literally everybody, international students, fobs everywhere. Slippers.
I mean, I would probably do that with, like, an old pair.
Maybe an old pair.
You know, if I had this pair of shoes for, like, you know, 10 years, I'm like, and it's still decent, I'm like, yeah.
But I'm talking about these guys are wearing it on like, Yeezys.
On Yeezy? How do you do that on Yeezys?
They don't care.
Well, I mean, if you think about it,
they're so rich.
Yeah, they got so much money. Or it's fake. It could be fake.
You know, I'm one of those cheap Asians that I would, like, literally, like, if I had, like, a Prada bag, I would, like, just cut out that Prada logo and just put it on, like, a Nike flip-flop.
Fuck? Why would you do that?
Because I'm a cheap Asian, dude.
Prada doesn't make flip-flops? Do they?
Or Gucci. Gucci makes flip-flops.
Is Gucci the one with the bumblebee or the wasp? Do you know the logo?
That's how cheap I am, but I don't know
You don't
the
know?
logo.
Oh, okay.
Gucci's like the green stripes.
Yeah.
Well, that
it's like the green, red, and black stripe.
Okay, yeah, so then the bumblebee is there. Okay, so Ngan, we're gonna wrap up. What is one last bit of advice you would give to our listeners about life, doing your own thing, you name it?
Being yourself.
Unfortunately, what you want to do is going to be a lot different from what your parents want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of have to balance that, prioritizing what you want to do and then being considerate of how they expect or want you to grow up as. I'm not saying you should follow completely what they want, but just also respect or understand where they're coming from. I would say that's all my advice.
That's awesome.
I love it. I agree with that, actually, 100%.
Hell yeah. Any shameless plugs you got? Anything you want to promote?
Besides the festival happening on Saturday?
Yeah, just come to the Argyle Lunar New Year's Parade on September
1st.
Look what you did.
Yes! I did it, guys. Oh, all for you.
I even said it slowly so they wouldn't mess it up.
Saturday, February 1st.
Saturday, February 1st at 1 p.m.
Okay.
And if you do show up,
I
ask you guys to show up early, stop by First Sip, get some coffee, some tea, whatever you want to keep you warm as you wait for the parade to start.
Mm-hmm. And does First Sip have any social media?
Yes. It's all at First Sip Cafe.
All First Sip Cafe on Facebook, Instagram.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And Yelp.
Yes.
Yes, Yelp and Google.
Oh,
yes.
Google
give that 5-star review, guys.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, thank you all for listening, and don't forget, guys, Apple Podcasts, leave a review, leave a rating. And
It's on for you.
Check us out on Instagram. Everything the Eating Cast. All right, that's TheEatingCast. Okay, everything the Eating Cast.
And then for our viewers and our listeners, do you have any more in there? A little bit. No, that doesn't count. Okay, hang on.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, you do that. Yeah.
Okay, you have a lot in yours.
Yeah. I mean, I was sipping it. I wasn't really drinking.
Oh shit.
It's okay.
There you go. All right.
Cheers.
So,
all right.
Cheers
to our viewers and our listeners. We want to say thank you for dining with the Eating Cast, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Have a happy Lunar New Year.
And thank you for season 3.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
And in Japanese fashion, kanpai.
Mm.
I'm gonna die.
And that's a wrap.
I'm gonna die.
Goodbye.